What weird quirk does your family have? You have to say goodnight to everyone in the house before you go to bed. If they are already asleep, you have to say it outside of their door just in case they may still be awake to hear it. I never thought anything of this until I spent the night at my ex's house and I wanted to say goodnight to his roommates. I seriously thought everyone did this. My family flipped "I hate your guts" into "I love your guts." Also, we regularly adopt stupid/funny autocorrect/typus into our lexicon. Mom tried to type okie dokie once and it turned into Pokerdome, so now we'll occasionally say Pokerdome as a sort of "I understand/yes/alright." This is just between my mother and myself, but every time I get the hiccups, she buys them from me. I'll start hiccuping and she makes a big fuss and throws up her arms. "I suppose you want cash for those, huh?" She'll give me whatever spare change she can find in increasing amounts until I stop hiccuping. Usually I'll make about 50 cents, but one time I got $6 because she only had bills. She's the best. Half is Russian, half is Finnish. Fist fights at Christmas are normal. We always announce when we have to poop. I'm terrified to bring a girl over for this reason. Op here. For the longest time, I assumed all family members were allowed to have trigger points. For instance, my younger sis took her food very seriously. I once nearly got stabbed for eating her cake. Parents told me that was my sister's trigger point, and it was the one thing they wouldn't fault her for. Meanwhile, my dad's trigger point is sleep. Mom made it clear we were forbidden from disturbing dad whenever he was sleeping, or he might hit us. Mom's trigger point is her Korean drama. She made it clear that we were forbidden from disturbing her when she was watching her dramas. They then allowed me to choose my trigger point. I chose gaming and announced I would react violently if anyone disturbed me when I was playing my computer games. My family allowed it. It wasn't until recently, when I was talking to others about trigger points, that they asked me WTF I was talking about, and that it sure as hell wasn't normal to yell at someone for disturbing your game of Dota. Until I was 23 I thought Tupperware was called McTainers instead of containers. My parents still have never justified why they have always only called them that, to the point I still slip up and call them McTainers regularly. About 25% of my family has hearing loss and can't hear certain frequencies, so we are always yelling at each other. At Christmas we sniff the presents before opening them. I don't know why, and most of the time they just smell like wrapping paper. It's been going on for over 20 years now. Anytime it is someone's birthday we purposefully sing as badly as we can. It is hilarious. My mom usually ends up aggressively coughing because she thinks that is funnier than singing. We have a distinct whistle to locate ourselves in places like stores or supermarkets. Mostly useful when we are traveling outside the country and have no phone service. Jeopardy every night. We always set it to record because sometimes we don't have time to watch it when it airs. Now we don't give the answer in the form of a question or keep score. It's not that extreme, but the person that gets Final Jeopardy gets high fives. When I'm away at school my mom texts me the Final Jeopardy question, so I still get to play a little when I'm away. When more guests arrive than expected, mom uses a secret code for me and dad, that is FHB, family hold back. This is done so that we eat less and the extra unexpected guests don't run out of food. Once my younger sister stopped believing in Santa. Around 15 years ago, my parents started making our Christmas presents from dogs that we knew. Our dog, our cousin's dog, our neighbor's dog. I think on this particular Christmas Eve, mum and dad were delirious and thought it would be funny, and it has stuck. My parents now have 3 chickens, and they do all our Christmas shopping each year, apparently. Edit. To clarify, the presents were made out to be given from dogs we knew. They were none the wiser as to what they got us. Whenever we drop someone off at their house at night, we have them flicker on and off the front porch light to signal they are okay in case of an intruder. Edit. I realize this isn't necessarily effective. That's why it's more of a quirk or tradition. We bring a sock monkey everywhere we go on vacation and take pictures of it in front of monuments, signs, etc. My mom is really the one keeping the tradition alive though. Was just talking about this last night with my siblings. We have Vietnamese names and all speak the language. But for some reason everyone pronounces my sister's and my name in English. We just forego the proper pronunciation and read it as it would if it were an English word. My dad named me, and he has never once called me by the correct pronunciation. Drawn out goodbyes. Leaving to go home. That will be several love yous. Call us when you get homes. At least 2 quick stories. And a random gift. Hanging up the phone. Same thing. Tell all the family members hi. 1 or 3 things I forgot to tell you. And a couple of see you soons. My husband eventually learned to start the process 10 minutes early due to the excessive leave taking. Edit to at, my family is from the south. My parents when they brush their tongue whilst brushing their teeth would gag really loudly. I thought this was fucking normal when I was a kid until I went out to play one day and could hear my dad gag from 2 houses over. Every kid in my street must have thought we were deep throating each other lol. We always get each other cards for holidays and birthdays, but we make them the stupidest or most unrelated card possible. Like my mom gave me a card for my 18th birthday that was all about how she was proud of the strong black man that I had become. I'm white. My mom had gallbladder surgery and me and my brother got her a bunch of It's a Girl balloons. Lots of confused nurses asking us if we were looking for the maternity ward. We also try to get weird things written on cakes. Sorry about the test results was one that we thought was hilarious. It was only a mole. Was another. A lot of people don't get it. I have tried extending it beyond my family. I got my friend a happy bat mitzvah card for her wedding. She was really confused and told me that neither her or her husband were Jewish. They also weren't turning 13. However, in college I had an Australian roommate and he had to have his appendix removed. I pulled the same stunt and got him a bunch of It's a Boy balloons. He said it was the funniest shit he had ever seen. All those balloons and confused doctors and nurses. Edit. Whoa. Thanks for the gold. I'll send you a sorry for your loss card. My father's side are all closeted atheists. Apparently, they all come out to me because I'm the hippie of the family. Whenever a new one admits it to me, I'll reassure them by saying you know, is an atheist too, and they just shake their heads, disbelieving. None of them believe me that their brother slash sister slash mother slash father slash children are also atheists. It's equally hysterical and frustrating. We all pretend everything is dandy but never speak. Late to the thread, but whenever it's time to go pick out a Christmas tree from a lot, my brother, dad, and I will walk in and grab one that is still wrapped up in twine, not open. Started about 6 years ago when we went a week before Christmas to get one because we all had been too busy to meet up, so pickings were slim. We decided to go with a wrapped one and love it regardless of its flaws that would be revealed when we got home. It was the ugliest damn tree you would ever see, and we couldn't stop laughing. Pine tree roulette is fun and gives other trees a chance at a loving home. We've gotten to flawless ones in our years. It's fun to see what you'll get. When I was a kid, I lived with my grandmother for a few years when I was really small, like 2 to 5, and she started Mosty Toasty. As in, she would say I love you the Mosty Toasty. And I would say I love you the Mosty Toasty too. Then she would gasp really dramatically and say but don't you love mommy the Mosty Toasty? And I would panic and exclaim, yes I do. I love you both the Mosty Toasty. But my grandmother would then say oh no, my name. You can only love one person the Mosty Toasty. You have to pick. And 90% of the time I would pick my mom and my grandmother would say that's okay. You're supposed to love her the Mosty Toasty. I still love you the Mosty Toasty though. And I would say I love you too. And if I picked my grandmother instead, she would tell me she was gonna call my mom and tell her that I didn't love her the Mosty Toasty anymore. And I would go no don't tell her that. I do love her the Mosty Toasty. I do it with my kids now, but only the eldest can really say it. My son is just shy of 2 years old, and somehow it became a contest. The first one to say I love you the Mosty Toasty wins, and you can do it any time of day. You can surprise attack with it and that's it. You've won for the day. My daughter's fond of nailing me with it right as she's walking out the door to the bus stop. We've also changed that there can be only one rule, to include others, so we can love more than one person the Mosty Toasty.